Disclaimer: this story is for entertainment purposes only. It does not promote or glorify any form of inappropriate behavior. All characters and events are fictional. Viewer discretion is advised. It all started on a rainy Thursday afternoon. The kind of day where the sky looks heavy and everything feels a little off. I had just finished my shift at work, soaked from head to toe because I forgot my umbrella again. As I walked down the quiet hallway toward the back exit, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, steady, getting closer. At first, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe it was one of my coworkers heading out the same way. But when I turned around, it was him. Daniel. He wasn't just anyone. He was the kind of guy who didn't talk much, but when he did, you listened. He had this way of holding eye contact that made you forget what you were saying. He was confident without being arrogant, mysterious without trying. And that day, he looked serious. More serious than I'd ever seen him. "Hey," he said, his voice low. "Can I talk to you for a second?" I nodded, even though something in my chest tightened. He didn't wait for my reply. He just turned around and started walking toward one of the side rooms, expecting me to follow. I hesitated for a second, unsure, but my legs moved before my brain could catch up. As soon as we stepped inside, he shut the door behind us. The sound echoed through the small, dimly lit space. There were no windows. Just four walls, a desk, and silence. He didn't say anything at first. Just looked at me. His eyes were unreadable, intense, searching. "I've been watching you," he finally said. My heart skipped. "I don't mean that in a weird way," he added quickly. I notice things. I notice you." I didn't know what to say. Part of me was flattered. The other part was confused. I barely even knew him. We'd exchanged a few casual conversations at work, nothing more. And yet, here he was, pulling me into a room, locking the door behind us, saying things that didn't quite make sense. "You act like you've got it all figured out," he continued. "Like nothing shakes you. But I see through it." I swallowed hard. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you need someone to take the pressure off. Someone to be in control for once." The way he said it, calm, steady, almost like a challenge, sent chills down my spine. Not from fear, but from something else. Something I couldn't quite place. I felt exposed. Like he could see parts of me I didn't even let myself see. I stepped back instinctively, but there was nowhere to go. The room was small. He took a step closer. Not in a threatening way, but with purpose. "You don't have to pretend in here," he said. "Not with me." It was hard to breathe. I wanted to ask 1,000 questions, but the words wouldn't come. I was stuck in this moment, trapped between curiosity and caution. "Why me?" I whispered. He tilted his head slightly. "Because you don't ask for help. Because you carry everything on your own. And because I know what that feels like." For the first time, his voice softened. I saw something in his eyes shift. Vulnerability, maybe. Understanding. It made me pause. Maybe he wasn't trying to control anything. Maybe he just wanted to connect. Still, the tension in the room was thick. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know if I wanted to run or stay and find out. He reached behind me, not to grab me, but to lock the door. "Just so no one interrupts," he said. My heart started pounding again. "Trust me," he added. But could I? That's the thing about moments like this. They don't come with warning signs. You just find yourself in them, suspended, unsure, waiting to see which way things will go. And that's exactly where I was, frozen in that room, with a guy I barely knew, who suddenly seemed to know everything about me. And then, just when I thought he was about to say something else, he took a deep breath, leaned in close, and said, "There's something you need to know. But once I tell you, things won't ever be the same." I blinked. My pulse was racing. I opened my mouth to speak, but then the door handle jiggled from the outside. Someone was trying to get in. And just like that, the moment shattered. What was Daniel about to say? Why had he brought me in there? And what happens when secrets meant to stay hidden suddenly come to light? You'll find out in part 2. The door handle twisted again, harder this time. Someone on the other side was clearly impatient. Daniel didn't flinch. He just stood there, still and focused, like none of it mattered. His eyes didn't leave mine. "Don't answer it," he said quietly. My voice finally came back. "But what if it doesn't matter? Just give me a minute. Please." His tone was firm, but not forceful. And weirdly, I trusted him. Even if I didn't understand what was happening or what he was about to tell me, I felt like it was important. Like this wasn't random. Like this moment had been building for longer than I realized. After a few seconds, whoever was at the door gave up. The hallway fell quiet again. Daniel stepped back a little, giving me space. I took a breath, my thoughts racing. This wasn't just about a private conversation anymore. There was something bigger going on, something he hadn't said yet. "You're probably wondering why now," he said, his voice low again. "Why here? Why you?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah, I mean, you barely talk to anyone. And suddenly you pull me aside and say all this." "I've been watching for a while," he admitted. Not in a creepy way. Just trying to figure out when the right moment would be. "For what?" I asked, my voice almost a whisper. "To tell you what's really going on." That made my stomach twist. He walked over to the desk and leaned against it, crossing his arms. "You think this job is just a job. But it's not. There's stuff happening behind the scenes, things people don't talk about. People disappearing. People getting silenced." I blinked. "Wait, what are you talking about?" He looked down, like he was trying to find the right words. "You remember Anna?" That name hit me hard. Anna had worked with us for nearly 2 years. Bright, kind, a little shy, but dependable. She'd stopped showing up a few weeks ago. No goodbye. No message. HR just said she resigned unexpectedly. No one questioned it. "Not really." "Yeah," I said slowly. "She left kind of suddenly." "She didn't leave," Daniel said. "She was forced out. And not because of her performance." "What do you mean?" "She found something she wasn't supposed to." I didn't want to believe him, but something about his voice told me he wasn't lying. "Found what?" I asked. Daniel looked me dead in the eye. "A file. A physical one. Locked in the storage room on the 3rd floor. No one ever goes there unless they're management." "Okay, but what was in it?" "I don't know," he said. "Not exactly. But I know it was enough to get her threatened." I overheard 2 of the higher-ups talking the night before she vanished. They didn't say her name directly, but they mentioned someone snooping where they shouldn't be. And the next day? She was gone. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. "And you think I'm involved in this? How?" "Because I think she passed it to someone before they got to her," Daniel said. "And I think that someone might have been you." "What?" "No, she never gave me anything." "Are you sure?" he asked. "Think. Did she leave anything on your desk? A folder? A flash drive? Even something that seemed random?" I racked my brain. Nothing came to mind right away. But then I remembered something, a little keychain she had handed me the week before she disappeared. It looked ordinary. Just a metal charm shaped like a star. She said it was a joke because I always stayed late, like a night star. I had thanked her and tossed it in my bag without thinking twice. Now, though, it felt like more than just a cute gesture. I don't know," I said, suddenly unsure. Daniel noticed the shift in my expression. "What is it?" "You remembered something." "Maybe. It could be nothing." He stepped closer again. "Where is it?" "Probably in my bag. I haven't touched it in weeks." "Then we need to see it. Now." There was urgency in his voice that made my skin prickle. I didn't move. I was still trying to make sense of everything. "Daniel, why me? Why are you trusting me with this?" "Because you're not like the others," he said. "You don't just accept what you're told. I've seen the way you look at things, like you're always trying to figure out what's underneath. And because if this really is what I think it is, we might not be safe for long." I didn't want to believe him. But deep down, I knew something was off. I had felt it for weeks. Whispers in the break room. People avoiding eye contact. An eerie tension that no one wanted to talk about. Daniel opened the door just enough to peek outside. The hallway was still empty. He turned back to me. Get the keychain. And don't let anyone see it. We'll meet back here in 10. I nodded, my heart pounding as I stepped out, suddenly aware of every face I passed. What was hidden inside that tiny charm? And why did I feel like someone was already watching me? I walked down the hallway with shaky hands, trying to act normal. Every shadow felt longer, every glance suspicious. It was like the air had changed thicker somehow. Like the walls were watching. I got to my locker and quickly dug through my bag. It was still there. The little star-shaped keychain Anna had given me. I turned it over in my hand, looking for anything strange, but it just looked normal. Scratched edges, a little faded. Nothing obvious. But something about it felt heavier now, like it carried more than just metal and plastic. I slipped it into my pocket and looked around. No one was paying attention, or at least, no one seemed like they were. That was the thing about this place. People smiled and made small talk, but there was always something underneath. Something unspoken. On my way back, I passed Jenna, one of the office assistants. She was always cheerful, always too curious for her own good. She gave me a quick smile. Hey, heading out early? I shook my head. Just grabbing something from the break room. She nodded but kept watching me as I walked away. That look stayed with me. Friendly, but off. Like she knew more than she let on. I got back to the side room and slipped in quietly. Daniel was already there, pacing. When he saw me, he stopped. You got it. I pulled out the keychain and handed it to him. He took it carefully, like it might break. He examined it for a second, then turned it over and pressed his thumb on the back. Nothing happened at first. Then, click. A small compartment opened on the inside of the charm. Inside was a micro SD card. Tiny. Almost invisible if you weren't looking for it. Daniel looked up. She did give it to you. I felt cold all over. What's on it? I don't know yet. But if she hid it like this, it's not something she wanted falling into the wrong hands. We both went quiet for a second. The tension in the air was real now, almost like we'd crossed a line we couldn't step back from. Daniel reached into his jacket and pulled out a small, beat-up laptop. Not the kind you'd use for work. This looked older, untraceable. He slid the card in and opened a few folders. What we saw next didn't make sense right away. Dozens of files, labeled with dates, codes, initials, and one folder marked with a single word, Echo. Daniel clicked it open. Inside were documents, scanned pages, and photos, some of employees, some of what looked like storage rooms, and a few of actual surveillance footage. I saw Anna in one of the clips. She was walking into the third-floor storage area, glancing around like she knew she wasn't supposed to be there. What is this? I asked, barely breathing. Daniel clicked another file, an email thread. It was between someone named RH and another person with no name listed, just a company address. The subject line read, Project Echo, status update. My head was spinning. This wasn't just about someone being nosy. This was something bigger. Something organized. Daniel scrolled quickly, scanning lines. They've been tracking people. Employees who ask too many questions. Who stay late. Who try to access off-limit areas. I blinked. Like Anna. He nodded. And like you. The weight of that hit hard. I thought back to all the nights I stayed late, all the times I noticed things that didn't add up. I had written it off as just stress or paranoia. But now it all felt real. I think this whole company is a cover, Daniel said quietly. Not the work itself, but something underneath. Something they're using our access for. I didn't want to believe it, but everything I was seeing said otherwise. Suddenly, Daniel's laptop screen flickered. A message popped up. Connection detected. Unauthorized access. His eyes widened. He yanked the SD card out and slammed the laptop shut. They know, he whispered. They're tracking the files. My stomach dropped. What do we do? Before he could answer, there was a knock at the door. Not a casual one, a sharp, deliberate knock. We both froze. And just like that, we weren't just playing detective anymore. We were in it. Deep. The knock came again. Louder this time. 3 sharp raps, like whoever was on the other side wasn't going to wait much longer. Daniel held his breath and motioned for me to stay quiet. We didn't speak. We didn't move. The only sound in the room was the faint hum of the old laptop's cooling fan. Then, the doorknob started to turn. Slowly, Daniel moved fast. He grabbed the SD card and slipped it into his shoe, then shoved the laptop under the desk. We had no time to hide, no escape plan. Whoever was on the other side was already coming in. The door creaked open just enough for a face to peek through. It was Jenna. "There you are," she said with a tight smile. "I've been looking for you." Her voice was casual, but her eyes said something else. She glanced around the room like she already knew what we were doing. "I need to speak with you both," she added. "Now." Daniel stepped in front of me. "We're busy." Her smile didn't fade. "I'm sure you are. But this can't wait. Management wants to see you. Both of you." My mouth went dry. Management? That wasn't good. Not after what we just saw. Not with that warning message flashing in Daniel's system only moments ago. "Why?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Jenna tilted her head. "No idea. But I wouldn't keep them waiting if I were you." She backed out, leaving the door open. Daniel and I exchanged a glance. We both knew this wasn't just a regular meeting. It was a test. A trap. Or worse. "What do we do?" I whispered. Daniel shook his head. "We go. But we don't say anything about the files. No matter what." I nodded, but fear was tightening around my chest like a vice. My legs felt weak as we stepped into the hallway. Jenna was waiting just a few feet away, walking ahead without looking back. We followed. The walk to the management wing felt like a funeral march, quiet, tense, every second dragging longer than the last. I noticed other employees watching us as we passed. Some looked away quickly. Others didn't bother to hide their curiosity. When we reached the elevator, Jenna pressed the button without a word. The doors opened too fast, like they were expecting us. We stepped in. As the doors closed behind us, Daniel leaned close and whispered, "No matter what happens in that room, don't react. Don't trust anyone." The lights above flickered. The elevator began to rise. And the silence was louder than ever. The elevator doors slid open with a dull chime, revealing a hallway that looked nothing like the rest of the building. The lights were colder here, the walls cleaner. Too perfect. No windows, no sound, just that eerie hum of silence. Jenna stepped out first and motioned us forward. I hesitated, but Daniel gave me a quick nod. We walked in step, every part of me screaming that this was wrong. She led us down the hallway to a dark wooden door at the end. Without knocking, she opened it. Inside was a sleek, modern office. Minimal furniture. A single desk. A large screen on the far wall displaying a looping company logo. But no one was there. "Wait here," Jenna said, and before we could ask anything, she stepped out and locked the door behind her. We were alone. Daniel immediately went to the desk, searching for anything, papers, drawers, hidden compartments. But it was spotless. Too spotless. I went to the screen, watching the logo flicker every few seconds. Something about it felt off, like it wasn't just for show. Suddenly, the screen glitched. The logo disappeared, replaced by a live security feed. At least 6 camera angles, all focused on different parts of the building, hallways, stairwells, even the break room. But the chilling part? One of the feeds showed us, standing in that very office. "We're being watched," I said, my voice barely audible. Then a voice crackled through hidden speakers, deep, distorted. "We warned you." Anna didn't listen either. Daniel froze. "Who are you?" The voice didn't answer that. Instead, the screen zoomed in on a live feed of my locker. A gloved hand was picking through my things. They were already looking for the keychain. They know everything, I whispered, my stomach sinking. Then the screen cut to black, and a countdown began. 5 minutes. The countdown blinked on the screen. 00:04:59. 00:04:58. Each second slammed into my chest like a warning bell. Daniel backed away from the desk, panic settling into his face for the first time. "They're wiping everything," he said. "Files, cameras, evidence. When that timer hits 0, this place resets, like none of it ever happened." I turned to the door and yanked the handle. Still locked. No keypad. No way out. Daniel pulled the SD card from his shoe. "We have one shot. There's a backup port behind the screen. Anna mentioned it once. If we can upload the data before they erase it, someone outside might see the truth." He rushed to the wall panel, pried it open with a pen, and revealed a hidden port. I handed him the card, heart racing. He slid it in. The screen flickered. Files began uploading, slow but steady. 2 minutes and 14 seconds, the voice came back, colder now. "You think this makes a difference?" "We're not doing this for us," I said, stepping in front of the screen. "We're doing it for everyone you've silenced." Then, suddenly, the screen glitched again. But this time, a second video feed appeared. Someone else was watching them. A new voice, calm and clear. "Transfer complete." "We've seen enough." Daniel and I looked at each other. The countdown stopped. The door clicked open. We stepped into the hallway, empty. No Jenna. No guards. Just the hum of overhead lights. "What just happened?" I asked, barely able to breathe. Daniel stared down the corridor. "Someone bigger's watching them too." And just as we thought it was over, my phone buzzed. One message. No number. "You're next." I stared at the message on my phone, the words blurring as 1,000 thoughts crashed through my head. "You're next." Daniel leaned over to see it, his face tightening. But instead of fear, there was something else in his eyes now, focus. "We bought time," he said quietly. "Not safety. Whatever this is, it's still watching." Over the next few days, the building was shut down for routine maintenance. Most employees were sent home without explanation. Rumors spread fast. Some said it was a system breach. Others whispered about hidden surveillance, secret files, and missing staff. No one knew what really happened. But the files Daniel uploaded made their way into the right hands. An anonymous leak surfaced online days later. The keywords Project Echo, corporate surveillance, and internal manipulation started trending everywhere. People were talking, finally asking questions. Some of the people involved were quietly removed from their positions. Others just vanished. As for me and Daniel, we left. Different cities, different lives. But the connection never fully broke. We still check in, just in case. Sometimes I still get messages. Blocked numbers. No names. Just warnings. Or silence. I don't know who was really behind all of it or who helped us in that room. But one thing's clear, the truth made it out. And once a story starts to spread, no one can fully erase it. The keychain? I still keep it. Not because I want to remember, but because I need to. Some stories don't end. They wait, watching. And when they pull you in, they never let go. One